Let me use this opportunity to welcome you to my channel called Life Without Limits. I know today is the 1st of January 2019, and as a lot of people will normally do at the start of the year, they will always set out New Year resolution, new decisions, but we all know what happens after the first day, after the second day. For those who are very committed, say maybe a lot of people break the resolution even before they start, while others even forget the resolution they've made. But you see, there's a way out, and there's something you can do to actually make sure that the decisions you make in life have a positive impact in your life. So being the very first podcast for the year, I'll be sharing some truths with you. I will also be sharing some very, very important topics. These are things that have actually have a positive impact in my own personal life. I just want to say that if you love what you hear, please subscribe to my channel. Just press the subscribe button down below, and also press the notification bell so that you can actually get future posts. I truly believe that the time you spent here today will be worth your while. You see, we've entered into a new year, and we must know that how we decide to live this year will determine how we turn out. Because it's a common saying that nothing changes until you change. For those of you who are science students, you remember, I think, is it the second law of Newton's second law? And it states this, it says everything will remain in a stationary position or in a constant state of motion until it is acted upon by an external force. So if you want things to change in 2019, then the change must begin with you. The change must begin with you. There are certain things that you have to know to actually make 2019 a very profitable year and a very, very positive year for you. Because nothing is going to change. Things will always remain the same unless you take that decision to change. So you see, the very first thing I want to discuss with us today is the topic of time. We live every day of our life. Sometimes we don't even think. A lot of people live on autopilot. They just do things without even realizing why they are doing it, what impact is it having in their life. But they just go on living that way. But you see, time is of essence. If we must achieve our goals this year in 2019, time must be of priority to us. Time must be of priority. So before I begin talking on time, you see, whatever we want to discuss, we must go from back to the very, very beginning. Now, I know most of my audience might be of different school of thoughts. I don't know what your school of thought is concerning life, concerning the world, concerning our existence here on earth. But I know that of everybody on this planet, there are two major schools of thoughts. And that is, there are some who belong to the camp of evolution, and also some who belong to the camp of creation. Now, I'm not here to debate which one is right and which one is wrong. Whether you believe in evolution or you believe in creation, you cannot deny the existence of time. It is completely impossible for you to deny that time exists. That's the framework with which everyone on earth functions. So time is real. Time is real. You can't deny that. So whether you believe that the world was created or you believe that it came out of nothing, it doesn't make any difference. Time exists, and we'll be talking about time today. So if you belong to the school of evolution, you subscribe to the theory that the world came out of nothing. It was as a result of a Big Bang explosion about 13.8 billion years ago. Well, I don't hold anything against that. That's your belief. And if you also believe that the world was created, It's your belief. I don't hold anything against that. I guess we are all at different phases of evolution, different phases of growth. So that's your belief. But the essence of what I'm saying today is whether you believe the world was created or you believe the world evolved through a big bang, the principal thing is both school of thought agree that there is time. So we shall be looking today what exactly is time. What is time? How important is time? How does time affect my life? And how can I leverage time? How can I benefit from time? How can I make time be productive for me so that my 2019 doesn't go as the 2018 for those who maybe must have regretted or that they didn't achieve their goals or they didn't know where 2018 went. But now we want to actually see how we can actually harness time to be of a great benefit to us. Now, I, for one, particularly, I subscribe to the creation perspective of life because for me, I find it difficult to actually come to terms with the fact that everything we see today actually came out from nothing, especially when it is very difficult to even define what nothing is. What is nothing? I can't define it, right? Nothing. And I can't understand that time and things we see today actually came out of nothing, that something came out from. But I know that something will always come out of something. That's why for me, I think it takes more faith to believe that something came out of nothing than to believe that something was actually created. Now, that's my own belief. I'm not saying you should subscribe to what I believe, but I actually believe that the world was actually created. Now, as per who created it or what created it is another discussion for another day. But you see, I believe that it was created, and I want to use that perspective to actually discuss what I'm about to discuss today. So just bear with me, and if you have any question, you can write in the comment section below, and I will put my email address. You can get in touch with me and ask any question. You see, the first thing we saw in the Christian Holy Book, which a lot of people call the Bible today, is this: that in the beginning, God created. Now, it shows you that before anything was created, there had to be a beginning. Meaning the first thing that God or the intelligent being or this universal life force, whatever you want to call it, the first thing that was created was time. This tells me that time is the raw material from which all other things are created. Time. Because before anything existed, time had to exist. So time was the framework from which every other thing was created, the heaven and the earth. You understand? The first thing that was created was time, right? And every other thing that was created out of time. Time is therefore the fabric of creation. There is nothing that is created. Even now in our physical world, you discover that everything you create needs time. It goes through a process and it takes time. Just think of anything. If you want to cut your hair, it takes time. If a woman is pregnant, it takes time, 9 months before the baby is given birth to. If you want to build a house, it takes time to plan. It takes time to lay the foundation. It takes time to put the pillar. It takes time to build the building. So everything takes time. For those who go to school, you want to become a doctor, you want to become a lawyer, it takes time. You need to sit in the class. You need to listen to the lecturer for 1, 2, 3 hours. You need to spend 1 semester, 2 semester. It takes time. Everything is a product of time. That tells me that whatever you want to do in 2019, whatever you want to achieve in 2019, it will take time. And you need to know what time is. You need to know how you can leverage time. You need to know how you can harness time so that you can actually make 2019 a memorable year. Time is very important. So, like I'm saying, to take advantage of 2019, you need to understand time. I want you to understand some certain things about time. And one of the things about time is this. Time is an interruption in eternity. Before time existed, all we had was eternity. All we had was infinity. All we had was continuation. Let me put it that way. But you see, the intelligent being, the supernatural life force, the universal life force, or those who choose to call it God, did something. He interrupted eternity from one end to the other and created time. Why? Because he wanted to create things that will exist in the physical. And those things will have to operate within a time frame. So he had to interrupt eternity. So time is an interruption of eternity. Time is also a framework or the raw material. Time is a framework of life or the raw material of life. Is the raw material from which everything, like I mentioned before, is created. Time. Time is also a gift. Time is a gift. Time is a gift. Why do I say so? Because without time, nothing will exist. Without time, nothing will be created, nothing will be made, nothing will be produced. You need time. So time is a gift. For anything to exist, for anything to exist in the physical, time must be present. So time is a gift that the Creator has given to us. One other thing I want to mention is that you've always heard the concept that time is money. But you see, I have come to realize that time is more than money. Time is more than money. Time is life. Because life, time is the stuff from which life is made from. Imagine, like I mentioned, when a child is to be born, he stays in the mother's womb for what? 9 months. What is 9 months? Time. So you can say it was time that actually produced that child. Money, yeah, is good. But you see, you can lose money and get it back. But you can never lose time and get it back. Time is not something you can get back. That leads me to the characteristics of time. What exactly is time? What is the characteristics of time? Everything is a product of time. That's one characteristic. So time is the raw material from which everything was created. 2, life is calibrated in time. If you go to the grave of anybody and you see what is written in the grave, you say he was born on this date, there will be a dash in the middle, and he died on this date. What is he trying to tell you? He's only trying to tell you that that soul you are going to see only existed within a time frame. Within a time frame. So the life of a man is calibrated in time. So you can only know how long someone lived on earth by time. So life is calibrated in time. What is the other characteristic of time? Time is in constant state of motion. Time is in constant state of motion and cannot be stopped. Irrespective of what you do, you cannot stop time. Even if you put your hand, I jokingly said once, I said, even if you go to the wall clock in your house and you put your hand, you stop it, you've only stopped the clock, but you've not stopped time. Time is always in a constant state of motion and can never be stopped. Another characteristic of time, time cannot be slowed down. Just as you cannot stop time, you cannot slow it down. It is running at a constant speed. It's just like the speed of light, right? It is running at a constant speed. You cannot slow time down. That's one other characteristic of time. What is the other characteristic of time? Time, once gone, can never be bought back. There is no amount of money you can pay to get time back. That is how important time is. Once time is gone, that is it. You can't buy it back. And you see, like I said, because time is the fabric of life, time is what life is made up of. Time is what life is calibrated with. For every time you lose, you've lost your life. If you lose 1 hour of your time, you've lost 1 hour of your life. 1 hour of your life is gone. Why? Because you cannot get it back. You cannot buy it back. So it is very important that time in 2019 is of primary priority in your life. You must understand what time is, and you must take a hold of time. You must be able to walk with time. You must be able to cooperate with time. You must be able to run with time. You must be able to move with time. Otherwise, time will leave you behind. Time will leave you behind unless you decide to understand the principles, the laws that govern time. And this is some of the things we are sharing. So I'll repeat those characteristics again. First and foremost, time is the stuff from which everything was created. Secondly, life is calibrated in time. Life is measured in time. Third, time is in constant state of motion and can never be stopped. Fourth, time cannot be slowed down. It doesn't matter what you do, you cannot slow down time. Fifth, time cannot be bought back. You can't buy time. And sixth, it is not partial. I didn't mention this before, but time is not partial. You know why? Everyone has the same amount of time. Everyone is given 24 hours every day. 86,400 seconds. Everyone has the same amount of time. And lastly, time, because it is the fabric of life, for every time you lose life. That is how important time is. So in 2019, I want you to get a hold of knowledge of time and use it to your advantage rather to your disadvantage. Because time can be used to your advantage and it can also be used to your disadvantage. Time can either make you or break you. Time can either make you or destroy you, depending on how you use time. But for you to be able to use time to your benefit, for you to be able to use time to achieve that which you have set out to achieve in 2019, you need to understand what time is. You need to understand the characteristics of time, and you also need to understand how you can use it to your advantage. I wouldn't want to take much of your time. Like I said, it's going to be an ongoing discussion. In our next broadcast, I'll be discussing how and ways you can use time that it will be beneficial to you. So I just want to say thank you for listening to me today. I hope you join me in the next broadcast. Please subscribe to the channel. Just hit the red button, subscribe below, and also register for the notification bell so that whenever the video comes up, you can actually get a notification. And leave your comments. Ask any questions you have. Or if there's anything you think I've said today that you don't agree with or you want to make me correct, just leave your comment. Drop a comment and I will definitely get back to you. So I want to say thank you very much for giving me your time today. I believe you've learned something from today's discussion. So I hope to see you next time. And thank you. Thank you very much. God bless.